Okay, now good morning everyone. My name is Teacher Peter and I'll be teaching Standard 6 about volume of cubes and cuboids. We'll be using Primary Maths, Book 6, and also the Targeter, all Book Class 6, and even the Spotlight Mathematics. So, what we'll do is to start by defining what volume is. And so, during this lesson, we shall work volumes of cubes and cuboids. And you as a student, by the end of this one, you should be able to work out any problem involving volumes of cubes and cuboids. To start with, we shall start by defining what volume is. And now, volume, by definition, is the amount of space occupied by matter. And volume, as it is measured, first, let me start. So, when we start by defining volume, we said that volume is the amount of space occupied by matter. And volume is always measured in cubic units. And for this case, we'll only use cubic meters and then cubic centimeters. So, cubic meters and then cubic centimeters. So, when I say cubic centimeters, what I mean is, cubic as it is comes from square, and square comes from just the length. So for us to come to this cubic, it means that we had a measurement, maybe centimeters, and then you multiply the unit 3 times. That's how the cubic came in. So we'll have our units for cube and cuboid volume as these 2. And therefore, the conversion of these 2 will be also very, very key. Now, when we start by converting cubic meters into centimeters and vice versa, we have, from beginning, we said that 100 centimeters is equal to 1 meter. That is length. Because our units will come from length to get us the volume. So, from here, we can define or derive, right, the volume. So, when we have length as 100 centimeters is equal to 1 meter, we will later say that for cubic to be obtained, we will multiply 100 by 100 also by 100. Remember, it is now been multiplied 3 times. So this one gives us the cubic centimeters. The same way, it gives us 1 by 1 by 1. And therefore, it gives cubic meters. And therefore, we will say that 100 by 100 by 100 is 1 million cubic centimeters is equal to 1 cubic meter. And this is the conversion from cubic centimeters into cubic meters. And we'll use this one later to convert other measurements. Now, coming to now, cube and a cuboid. A cube and a cuboid, let me have it here. Having a cube, let me say now, let's now start by finding volume of a cube. A cube has all its sides equal. And therefore, let's now say we have a now 1 meter cube. To find the volume of a cube or a cuboid, we will multiply all its sides. And therefore, we'll say that this is length, width, and height. And therefore, volume of a cube is length multiplied by width by height. And therefore, we say that volume is length times width times height. That's it. And for our case, we'll have 1 meter, 1 meter, and 1 meter. And therefore, it will be 1 times 1 times 1 for a 1 meter cube. And therefore, its volume will be 1 cubic meter. That's the volume of the 1 meter cube. Moving forward, we've had that. And then, to convert this one now, from what we said, we have this 1 meter cube, right? Converting it into cubic centimeters. I said earlier that 100 by 100 by 100 centimeters cube will give us 1 meter cube. And therefore, we will say that if 1 million cubic centimeters is equal to 1 cubic meter. Therefore, what about now this our 1 cubic meter? We'll have it as 1 times over 1. And therefore, it is just cubic centimeters. That's it. So 1 million cubic centimeters is equal to 1 cubic meter. And that's all. Now, moving forward, we can now go ahead and now convert other measurements from cubic meters into cubic centimeters. How do we do that? Now, maybe you are told now to convert. I hope you are getting me. Convert the following into meters cube. Now, you are given 4 million cubic centimeters into cubic meters. How do we do it? This one now, I said earlier that 100 by 100 by 100, this one is cubic centimeters is equal to 1 by 1 by 1 cubic meter. And therefore, we have 1 million cubic centimeters is equal to 1 cubic meter. Therefore, what about what are given here? We are given now 4 million cubic centimeters. How do we do that? So from here, we just say 4 million times 1 over 1 million, right? And now we cancel the zeros now. We'll have the first 2 will go, next 2 will go, then last 2 will go. So we'll have as 4 cubic meter. I hope from home you understand that. Now, converting 4 million cubic centimeters into meters, you must first know the conversion formula, which says that 1 million cubic centimeters is equal to 1 cubic meter. From then on, we can now also convert others. What about given here? That is first one. Let's now convert 7,500 cubic centimeters into cubic meters. The same way, we'll still use this one here nicely. We said that 1 million cubic centimeters is equal to 1 cubic meter. What about now? We are given 7,500 cubic centimeters. Here, the same way you say that 7,500 times 1 over 1 million. And then now, first, let the zeros cancel each other. So we now have 75 over 10,000. How is it done? So these 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros will now have 4 decimal places at the numerator, which gives us 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is 0.1234. So 0.0075 cubic meters. We've converted 2 of them, 4 million and then 7,500 cubic centimeters into meters cube. Now, on the other side, now converting now from cubic meters into cubic centimeters. The same method we did. Let's now convert into cubic centimeters. So, convert 5.5 cubic meters into cubic centimeters. The same way, what I said earlier is that 1 million, stick to that, 1 million cubic centimeters is 1 cubic meter. Then ask yourself, what about 5.5 cubic meters? So 5.5 cubic meters. Remember, we are converting from cubic meters into cubic centimeters. Therefore, here we'll take 5.5 times 1 million over 1, of course. Here, 1 0 will cancel the 1 decimal place. So we'll remain with 5.5 times 100,000. I mean, 55 times 100,000. So it will be 55, and then we add those ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll have all that. Cubic centimeters. Remember, converting from meter cube to cubic centimeters, we will have from a smaller number, we'll have now a larger digit. And from cubic meters to centimeters, we'll have from large to a smaller. Then, let me have another one. Convert, for me, 6 cubic meters into cubic centimeters. At home, you can try this as we do it together. You must always use the conversion figure. I told you that 1 million, it will guide you properly. 1 million cubic centimeters is equal to 1 cubic meter. Then ask yourself, what about this 6? Let it lie just under the other cubic meter. And now ask, what about 6 cubic meters? Take it, 6 multiply by the 1 million. 6 times 1 million over 1. Definitely it will give us 6 million cubic centimeters. Later, we shall be discussing more word problems on this. But now, let's convert first. Then, last one, for you at home now, you can try this with me. We can try this now. At home, try this. Convert for me 4.5 cubic meter into cubic centimeters. While doing it, try to first write this one down. Should guide you, should be your guide. Then Once you do that, you say that 1 million cubic centimeters is equal to 1 cubic meter. Then you are given this. What about 4.5 cubic centimeters? So here we write what about 4.5 cubic meters. And then, I hope you're doing with me at home, take 4.5 times 1 million over 1. Now, when multiplying decimal by multiples of 10, a 0 will cancel with 1 decimal place. So they go like that. So the 1 decimal place will go away with 1 0. So we'll only have 45 times 100,000, and will give us now 45, then another 5 zeros. So we will have 4,500,000 cubic centimeters. If you done it that way, please give yourself a thumbs up. Then, from there, after conversion, let's now start calculating now the real volumes of cubes and cuboids. That was conversion. So, I told you earlier that a cube will have all its sides equal, and a cuboid will only have a cross section but will have a different length. So the same length, width, and height. Length, width, and height. What makes the difference is that a square has all its sides equal, but a cuboid, a cube have all sides equal, but a cuboid might not have all of them equal, might have 2 equal. So, coming here, I said length by width by height gives us the volume of a cube. The same way, length times width times height will give us the volume of the cuboid. Depending on what we are given, we must always learn multiplying the 3 figures at once. So when doing this, let me give an example. You are given measurements of a square, 5 meters, 5 meters, 5 meters. Also here, I said for a cuboid, they want to be equal. So we have 4 meters, 12 meters, and 8 meters. Volume of a cube and a cuboid is length times width times height. And therefore, for a cube, it is same 5 by 5 by 5. So if you have for a cube, you just say it is side by side by side. And therefore, it is 5 meters times 5 meters times 5 meters. All these ones will give us a cubic unit because we multiplied the meter 3 times. And therefore, we'll have our cubic meter. And we have 5 times 5 first is 25 times 5 again, right? So come and just do it. Don't speculate. That is 5 times 5 is 25. Carry 2. By 2 is 10 plus 2 is 12. So our volume will give us 125 cubic meters. Get that right. For the same one, volume of a cuboid is length times width times height. Ensure you have all the measurements with you and say that volume will now be 4 meters by 12 meters by 8 meters. We'll have now 4 times 12 times 8. Our answer should be in cubic meters. Don't ever leave your answer as just meters or just as centimeters. It has to be cubic because it's the volume. So 4 times 12, that is 48. And now also times 8. That is 64. Carry 6. 32 plus 6 is 40. 32 plus 6 is 38. Thank you. So we have 384 cubic meters as the volume. It can also apply when given in centimeters, right? So let me use now a different unit as centimeters. So for a square, let me say you have now 7 centimeters, 7 and 7. And for a cuboid, you have 3, 10, 5. Before you work out, ensure you have all the measurements in same unit, and then you have the formula. So they are all in same unit. Let me have this one also centimeters. Also, that one. So, have it this way. Volume is length times width times height. And for cuboid, volume is length times width times height. Moving forward, we have all of them 7. So it is 7 by 7 by 7. Answer should be in cubic centimeters. The same way here, volume is 3 by 10 by 5. Should give us cubic centimeters. So we'll have 7 by 7 is 49 by 7. 7 times 9 is 63. Carry 6. 28 plus 6 is 34 cubic centimeters. So our answer is just 343 cubic centimeters. That's the answer complete. We must have it in the required units. I told you earlier that the volume of a cuboid is given in cubic units. The same way here, 3 by 10 is 30 times 5 is 150. Also cubic centimeters. You see that multiplying is very key. Unit is very key. So give your answer as complete, which is units is very important. Ensure you have all of them in same units, also same units. But others now, there are cases where you are given a cube or a cuboid, but they might have different units. We started earlier by converting both of them from one unit to the other. So when given differently, we should be able to convert them fast. Here, I told you earlier that 100 centimeters is equal to 1 meter. You might be given shapes or diagrams with different units. Now, let me have this one. Calculate the volume of a cuboid whose measurements are A, length is 10 centimeters, width is 0.5 meters, and height is 50 centimeters. Remember, I told you earlier that before you start working out the volume, ensure you have all your measurements in same unit. If not, then convert them very fast. So we have centimeters, meters and centimeters. So we must choose one unit to convert. Example, you're told find the volume in cubic centimeters. meters. So we must have all of them in 1 unit. And here we must convert this one into centimeters. And we said here will guide us. If 100 of the centimeters will give us 1 meter. Now, how much is 0.5 meters? We have 0.5 meters. It will be 0.5 times 100 over 1, of course, will give us 1 0 will cancel decimal point. So we'll have 50 centimeters. So we have our 0.5 as 50 centimeters. Don't make a mistake of multiplying 10 by 0.5 by 50. It will be a wrong answer. So we'll have it as, now volume is length times width times height, all in the same unit. And therefore, we'll have it as 10 times 50 times 50. So this is now 50 times, again this one is 500. So we will have 25 and then that one, cubic centimeters. I've only given you a challenge whereby you are given units of different kinds. You must bring them back to the same unit. Now, there are now word problems that involve volumes. And even before that, I said earlier, volume is length by width by height. Volume is length times width times height. That's a fact. You say that way. Now, what about when given volume, you're asked to find length or find width or even find height? How do you? Having this in mind, to find length will first, volume is the biggest out of them. So it will be volume out of, we want to find length. What's left? Width and height. So volume over width times height. Take it down, that one, very important. Then, to find width, still volume over what is left here. We'll have only length times height. And to find height, it will still be volume over what's left here will be length times width. When I say over, we are dividing the product of width times height divided by the volume. Also here, length times height, multiply them. Also here, width times length. Example, we have this table here. We have length, width, height, and volume. So volume you are given to be 400 cubic centimeters. Height is 20 centimeters. Width is 5 centimeters. How do we find length? From here, length is volume divided by the product of width times height. And volume, since it's 400, yeah? So we say that length is volume divided by the product of width and height, which gives us 400 over 5 times 20. So 5 times 20, which is 400 over, what is this? 100. We cancel the zeros and we'll have it as 4. Remember, they were all in centimeters. So our length is 4 centimeters. Then, another example whereby we are now given volume still and others. We are given now volume as 180 cubic centimeters, and then height is 8, and width is 3. Length is 3. So we now get the width. Same way, I gave you that volume is length by width by height. Formula very, very important. So to get length, I said still volume over what's left here is only width times height. Right? I mean, we want to get width now, will be now length times height. So volume is 180 over 3 times 8. You can do it at home and try. Get the product of 8 and 3 is 180 over 24. Divide properly. We can start by 2 goes here, 12, and 2 goes here, 90. 2 goes here, 6, 2 goes here, 45. 2 goes here, 3, 2 goes here, now 12, 20, 20, 24, 22, yeah? 22.5, yeah. We can go ahead and divide now here. 3 will go here once, right? And now 22 will now go into here 7 times because of 21. Bring that one into 15 into 15, how many times? 5 times. So we will have our width as 7.5 centimeters. Finding other measurements when given volume and 2 other. We've done width, we've done length. Now let's try height. You are given volume to be 72 cubic meters. Height is given as, length as 4 meters and width as 2 meters. Find height. The same way, since volume is length times width times height, and height will be volume over length times width. We have all of them there, and it's good they are all in the same unit. So volume is 72 over 4 times 2, which now 72 over 8, which gives us 9 meters. So that's 9. Now, going back, we started by converting, and conversion is very important here. Converted from meters to centimeters, and then also from cubic meters to cubic centimeters, and now vice versa. The knowledge of conversion of meters into centimeters and vice versa helps us back the volume. From the measurement of length, we multiply it 3 times, and now we get the volume. So because 1 by 1 by 1 meter cube is also the other side. So we must start from, I think this is class 4 work, conversion of measurement of length. So from here, there are now word problems. Word problems will come in a way that might confuse you if you are not clever, if you're not accurate. So it comes in a way you will be given tanks or containers in form of rectangular whatever, rectangular tank, rectangular container, rectangular jar. Remember, rectangular is just an upright cube and cuboid. So when given that, let's try and work them out as they are. Examples are, let me have this one. And remember, when working out word problems, there are three features, three things you must always do. Any word problem, you must always read a word problem. Read at least thrice, but very fast. Then, as you read it, you do what? Understand the question. Before you start working out, think of what is required of you. Then lastly, you now answer it. And when doing the answer, you must give the answer as accurate, very neat, and consider speed. So those ones are very, very key. So we have word problems. We must never read it fast and never ever get scared with word problems. Some people might see word problems and then they say teacher ni ngumu. No. As long as you take these four initials: read, understand, think, then answer. For first round, read for fun. Second round, read as you understand. Then read as you think, and then read as you answer. Examples. Find the length of a cuboid. Find the length of a cuboid with a volume of 440 cubic centimeters, a width of 5 and height of 11. A width of 5 and height of 11 centimeters. Now, let's use this one now. We can use it for our own good, not only for now, but later. Any word math problem must be done this way. Read, understand, think, then answer. So, here, a cuboid, if, let me tell you again, if a question involves anything diagrammatic, please try and sketch. Remember, sketch is any diagram drawn, not to scale. So just draw it to guide you. It's easier to work out a question when sketched than not sketched. That's a fact. So here we have what? A cuboid. Cuboid, it's that way. Here, sasa, I have read and understood the question. It is a cuboid. We know a volume of 440 cubic centimeters. Then a width of 5 and height of 11. Look at that. So now here I have read the question, understood it, and then thought of what to do. Now my answer comes automatically. I have height, I have width. What do I need? Just the length. So I will come to my equation and say that volume, since it's length times width times height. Write down what you have and note down what's not given. So volume I'm given to be 440 cubic centimeters. Length I'm given, not given. And then width is given as 11. And width is given as 5. And height is given as 11. So look here. I've read the question, sketched as required, and then from there, I note down what is given. From my noting down, I will now see what is missing. And now come and say that what do I needed? Length is volume over width times height, which is 440 over 5 times 11. So 11 will cancel once. Here will go how many? 40 times. And then 5 once, 5, 8. So remember, I now have my length as 8 centimeters. Please get that one right. I sketched and then noted down what is given. And now my question is answered. Read, understand, think, then answer. Yeah? I will give you some more, but now let's now go to others. Now, let me get some more. Now, the question now comes, what problem? What is the volume? What is the volume of a rectangular tank measuring 5 meters long, then 8 meters wide and 10 meters high. Word problems required. Read, understand, think, then answer. So, rectangular tank. If you can sketch, please sketch. A tank is rectangular, so I will have it that way. That one. So, volume of the tank measuring 5 meters long, 8 meters wide, 10 meters high. Simple. I had the word problem, brought it down to sketch. So, volume is length, width, and height. Check if your measurements are all in the same unit. We have 5 meters, 8 meters, 10 meters. So we are good to go. 5 times 8 times 10. We'll have it as this is. Now 40 times 10 is 400 cubic meters. That's an example of a word problem given. Always try and read your question, understand, think, and answer. Most of you in school, you will always say that this one now inakuwa at the answer. No. The ANS simply means that your answer and you personally, you have been accurate for A, and you have been neat, and S, you looked at the speed. Therefore, look at my work. There's nothing like nimevuta hivi or I change something there. You must be neat. What the teacher sees, your work will really show about you. So appeal to the teacher, to the marker. Show them that you have been accurate, you've been neat, you've been fast. But always still stick to reading a word problem, understanding, think, then answer. Always. One last one, example, you can try at home. Find the volume of a cube which has a length of 0.8. Find the volume of a cube. Remember a cube, I said earlier that a cube has all the sides equal. So if you are given 8, don't ask for the rest. 8 is for all of them. So volume of a cube which has a length of 0.8 meters. You are now given as 0.8 meters. Also 0.8. 0.8. Remember, you are given the question as find the volume of a cube which measures 0.8 meters. Only one given. The word was cube. So you were to read the equation. Find volume of a cube. So the cube alone will lead you now to conclude that the volume, the cube has all sides equal. And so 0.8 is for all the sides. And say that volume is length by width by height. Don't be scared by the decimals. Don't. Just list them down. 0.8 by 0.8 by 0.8. We'll now have, take the whole number as it is first. 8 by 8 by 8. But keep the 4 decimal places. You lose them later. So 8 by 8 by 8. This is 64 times 8. That's 32. 48 is plus 51. So it is 51, but we had 4 decimal places. So we'll say it is 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So we have 0.05. Sorry, there are 1, 2, 3. Sorry, like that. So it is just 0.512 cubic meters. Done. So when you have that, we have read our question, understood it, thought of what to do, and then you answer. RUTA, always must stick to it. Now, let me give you at home now, wherever you are. A cuboid measures 2 meters by 3 meters and has a volume of 36 cubic meters. So you're told it is a cuboid measuring 3 meters by 2 meters and has a volume of 36 cubic meters. Length, width, and then volume. What's missing? We only have height as the missing measurement. Earlier I told you that volume, since is length, width, and height, and therefore height is volume over length times width. So work it out. We have volume as 36, length and width is 3 times 2. These ones will give us our height. Therefore, 2 can go here, 18, 3 can go here, 9. And there, no, sorry, 3 can go here, 6. And therefore, our height is simply 6 meters. I want to believe I've exhausted all the areas of volume. Don't get scared by a 2-word equation. As long as you read the equation properly, if sketching is required, please do. And for our case, for this topic, you must always sketch either a cube or a cuboid. Rectangular box, rectangular carton, rectangular tank. All those ones, sketch them. And now slot in what is given, also what's not given. Always sketch them. Once you do that, so once you do that, you must always read all of them. So I'll now go to your questions from home. Now, Michelle from Kajiado saying, what's the volume of a triangular prism? Triangular prism means, first we must understand what Michelle has said. Michelle has said it's a triangular prism. So, Michelle, prism is any shape with a uniform cross section. Yeah? So, we will have that one and then all that. So, this is what gives it its name, triangular prism, of this uniform cross section. And therefore, the volume of the prism is area of the cross section by the length, right? So area of this triangle is a half base times height, then times its perpendicular, the parallel length, like that. That's it, Michelle, even though it's not a class 6 work. But I hope you answered. Then we also have Neema Brittany from Nakuru. Nice lesson, thank you. Your question is, what is the formula finding a volume of a bread-like shape? Thank you. Who is this? She is Neema Brittany from Nakuru. So, Brittany, bread. That one now gets us to volume of other prisms. Now, let me try and sketch your bread that way, that, and that way. It's still now beyond class 6 work anyway, but let's do it. That one. This is your bread now, whereby this is the first slice and all that. So, any prism, Neema, is the area of cross-section times the length. This is a cross-section containing two combined shapes. Half circle, get a half pi r squared length times width. These two add. You'll get the area of cross-section. Then times this length, itakuwa volume. It's like you arranging so many slices of 1 meter cube. Mara ngapi itapia this number of times. If there were 10 slices times 10, right? That's good. Then we have, hi teacher, I am Ham from Kajiado. Interesting lesson, thank you. So my question is, what if a number has a decimal point? How do we convert into a number, or how to remove it between the number? For example, 4 meter cube, then converted into, 4.5, sorry, 4.5 into cubic centimeters. Good. Now here, get back to what I said earlier, that 1 million cubic centimeters is equal to 1 cubic meter. Get that one from Kajiado, right? So, umeulizwa hii. Get it now to where it belongs. Which side do we have the cubic meters? It's this side, 4.5, right? And whatever is here, multiply by what is here. So we will have 4.5 meter cube times 1 million. And I told you earlier that one decimal place will go with 1 0. So you only have 1, it will go there, and 1 0 will die. So we'll only have 45 times 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. So, yeah, 45, then 5 zeros. That one. So we have 4,500,000 cubic centimeters. Then I hope you answered. Then, hi teacher, I'm Joy. Repeat the example with 3 as length, 8 as height. Okay, good. Repeat the example with 3 as length, 8 as height, and volume as 180. So here we are given length, height, and what's missing? Width. So to get width, we say it is volume over length times height. Volume is 180 over 3 times 24, right? We can cancel all of them or multiply and then divide. So here, 3 will go here once, 3 will go here into 180, 6, right? And then 2 will go here, 12, 2 goes here, 30, 2 go here, 6, 2 go here, 15, 2 go here, 3, 2 go here, 7.5. and then 3 ones, 3, 7.5 will give us now 3 into 7.5, that is 2. Then we have 1 left. Into 15 mara ngapi? 5. So we'll have it as 2.5. I hope you answered. Then okay, Eric, thank you. Volume of a cylinder, Eric, that one is a bit later, but cylinder is pi r squared h for the next class now. That's class 7. Now, I have a question. What if they tell you that you have the volume and the length and, let me write it down. What if they tell you that you have the volume and the length, and then tell you to look for the height and width? What do you do? You have the volume and length, then you are told to find volume given, let me say 100 cubic meters, and then length you are given to be 5. Then you are told to find height and width. This one, at your level, at class 6 level, you only be given 1 missing. You'll be given volume and 2 other, then only 1 missing. It can't be missing 2 of them. That's it. Thank you for your questions anyway. Now, I will review. We said that volume is the amount of space occupied by matter. And for our case, I said earlier, our matter is now the cube and the cuboid. So ensure you understand what you're working out. Don't just go and start calculating. Understand first. Then converting the units from cubic meters to cubic centimeters, you stick to this. 1 million cubic centimeters is 1 cubic meter. Stick to it forever. Then, from there, after converting, you can use this one to convert others, right? From meters to cubic meters. Now, from here, you want to convert from meters cubic to centimeters cubic. What happens here? From meters cubic, centimeters, right? We will now multiply by 1 million. And now converting from cubic centimeters to cubic meters, we now do what? Divide by 1 million. That's it. Then, having it in mind, we also did some examples of converting when given, right? When given some measurements or volumes from one volume to the other and vice versa. We also went ahead and now, so if we had volume is length by width by height, we went ahead and now did how to find length is volume over width times height, and width is volume over length times height. And now height is volume over width times length. Now, who was this? Or no name, but remember, you can't, at your level, class 6, you can't work out one measurement when you are given, when 2 are missing. We must have volume and 2 others to find the other at your level. So that's it. And I said, ensure that all of them are in the same unit. If not, go to this one. 100 centimeters is equal to 1 meter. And now convert it is equal uniform units. We went ahead and now worked out such examples. I'll repeat again that if you have a word problem always first do this. Read your question. Once you read, then do what? Understand your question. Kabisa. You can't work out a question bila kuelewa. You utakuwa unafanya zero. So understand. Then next one is to think of what to do. In a flash, don't take a whole time. Then now, answer. As you answer your question, give it your best. First, the teacher, the marker, will be attracted to clean work. So let your answer, right, be very accurate, meaning you put the right answer. Then, 2, be neat. Let your work have less kazi chafu, less rubbings, right? Then, be fast. So any math answer must be ANS. Accuracy, neatness, and speed. Word problems, don't get scared by that. Yeah, don't get scared by that. Eric, I can see. Thank you. So, don't let word problems scare you. Work them out nicely. Bora, you read the question, understand the question, and then answer. You will be good to go, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, I will leave you at that point and hope that the volume of a cube and a cuboid has been well understood, well taken in, the formula, the conversion, and even finding the missing measurements when you have volume and the others, right? You have volume, length, width, volume, width, height, volume, length, width, all of them. I will appreciate if you can do more on your own. I only given you a third. So the rest, look for books. Go for Spotlight, Targeter, Primary Maths, and any other book that might have such work out, right? You can keep referring to the text and answers as you keep staying at home. Thank you so much.